Okay, so this is going to be the introduction to the ride boot collection that I have for this year. So what you see in front of you here on the this side over here, that would be the Ride 98, 92. The one in the middle would be the Ride Lasso, and the one on this side over here would be the Ride Fuse. I don't know how many people would buy 3 different pairs of boots, but I did for the purpose of reviewing them all and testing them, how I feel they ride and how they feel benefit me, which goes up the scale and which kind of stays down the scale. So the Ride 92 on the right side of your screen, or my left as you look at it, is the softer flex of the 3 boots. Considered to be like a 6. It has a double boa, which is an operating section from the top to an operating section on the side that operates the lower part of the boot. And that's this part down here, plus a snow cover down in this area here. It has the Intuition lining, which is a great pre-molded. You can preheat it and have it molded to your foot. I haven't done that at all, but it's a good fit, and I just like to wear them in rather than to preheat them. The flex on that is about a 6. Next, we have the Lasso, which is in the middle. It is also an Intuition liner, and it's a flex of about a 7, meaning it's a little stiffer than the other. It has the same basic connections there with a upper boa for the upper section, the side boa for the lower section. On that one, it pulls you down into the heel pocket more. The addition on the 92 was, of course, was the power strap, which I failed to mention over there. That kind of pulls the whole tongue back into the shin. And the last boot on this side over here is the Ride Fuse, which is a lace-up boot. It has 1 boa on it, and that boa you would think might be internal and work on the inside upper and lower, but what it actually has is a power strap, which is inside the boot to pull this Intuition liner back. So, what does that mean to you guys? Well, what it means to me is that the 92 allows me to bend and force my knees forward to a pretty good point where I'm stacked over the working edge. But unfortunately, that closes the ankle and that softens the ability of my board to rise up when I go toe side. So this is most effective or least effective on the toe side for higher edge angles. The Lasso, which is the middle one here, has an Intuition liner also, but it has a tongue liner in it, which is this one here. That is just a standard tongue. The other one, again, we'll go back to the 92, is a wraparound, and we'll come over to the Fuse, and that is also a wraparound taco. One thing about the taco wraparound on all the ride boots, I would like to see them wrap a little further back so that I can get a tighter fit there. If you have a big calf going down into that particular boot, you could find some difficulty in getting a closure as tight as you wanted around the cuff area. But anyhow, so the Fuse on the far side is a flex of about an 8. What that means on that is when I try to bend the boot, I will get a higher lift going toe side, pulling the board up higher. So lower edge angle type boot, medium edge angle type boot, and higher edge angle boot. And I believe Ride has one above that also. So what changed it again is your ability to get more performance on the board, just like having a ski boot or something with a stiffer flex pattern on it. And since we all know that the pattern and numbers given to boots don't really mean anything, so when you go in a shop, try it on. So here's the real deal. If you're a rider who uses a board maybe, I don't know, 4 to 8 times per season, the 92 is going to fit you pretty good, pretty well. But if you're over 170 pounds, I'd probably step up to the Lasso. The Lasso is a good all-around riding boot for most people. Even my weight being over 220 at sometimes 215, I can still get a pretty good performance edge to edge out of that boot. If you're a bigger guy and you happen to weigh over 200 pounds, you probably want to go into the Fuse because that's going to give you more leverage with your knees and ankles over your board, higher performance, etc. So lower performance and less riding days, the 92. Now, if you're a park guy, you might like the 92 a lot because it'll keep your board a little flatter due to the ankle flex, and it doesn't lift up as much. And so you got to consider those things. If you're riding all mountain and you're way more, look at the lasso. If you're going to be riding all mountain and big mountain and directional boards and diving them in there, heavy snow, and you want top end performance, let's go with the Fuse. So those are my thoughts on the 3 boots. I would use each of them for different occasions, different variations in the snow. I hope this is helpful to you guys, and stay with us. We'll come out with more information on these boots as the season goes along. Here's all 3 boots in these clips showing the rise of the heel due to the flex of the boot or the softness. This should be helpful to anybody picking out a boot, provided you're looking at what I want to use the boot for, how many days I'm going to ride, how much do I weigh, does it feel good, am I comfortable in it, and will it meet the goals of the boards that I have picked. Each of these tests was done from the same tape line with the same distance, which was 11.5 inches from the wall, and therefore I'm getting even marking, and all boots are created equal on this test due to the lineup and the spaces used to give you guys the total picture of what flex does or does not do in a boot. Again, you need to pick out one that meets your needs and is, of course, the most comfortable boot for you to use. Obviously, I've done these clips at the different angles to show you what you can see, and will demonstrate how much your board is going to lift up due to the flex in the boot with the same movement or distance of movement or range of motion that I've used on each occasion. So I hope this helps. For me personally, the Ride Fuse is the boot of choice overall, with the exception of I would use a 92 and the lasso for teaching, or maybe soft snow days in the spring that I'm not going to want to jump around and beat the snow to death and get the ultimate performance out of my board. So I'm a little bit lazier on that type of boot, etc., as opposed to the amount of energy and input I have to use with the Fuse due to the stiffness. I hope this really makes sense to you guys. Although I've done this test at home in my own house and living room, all of these movements could be used and observed by bringing a friend to a shop. When you try your boots on, check out the flex, decide if it's going to meet your needs, and then be happy with the choice you make. Not knowing these things, you could make a wrong choice, which I have done many times before, trying to save you guys money and time. So stay with us.